Urshifu, Urshifu, what would I do without you? It'd be a whole video short. I love bears. Easily my favorite animal. But then there are these two. They make me question myself. But let's go ahead and speculate a bit about them anyway. I mean, Kung Fu bears that live in Galar. Britain and Kung Fu. Are there ties between these two? Why are you even here? Well, as usual, especially for this generation, Pokemon Origins are going above and beyond, pulling inspiration from various elements all over. It's awesome, and these are so much cooler now that I know about them and stuff. So let's get into that. So, it turns out European bears did in fact live on the British Isles at one point, but haven't for centuries because there's too many people for too little land. Granted, these bears were mainly brown, and seeing as Urshifu and the Isle of Armor is quite Chinese-inspired, well, they do seem to fit Asian black bears much more, with the black color and the white crest on the chest and the black and white Pokemon bears. But maybe there's more to it than just bears, British or otherwise. You see, Galar and its Pokemon are more than merely British in origin. Various Pokemon pull from other cultures that played a big part in its history. The Indian elephant, the Roman soldiers, and the Norse Vikings and Runestone. And so, of course, the pun-loving side of me just has to say, well, Berserkers. Let's just put the Kung Fu aspect aside for just a moment. Let's look at Berserkers. Their name means bear shirt, and they were shaman warriors, which is worth bringing up, as according to the webpage description of Urshifu, they banish and cleanse evil spirits. That is a very shaman thing to do. And like the Berserkers' namesake, they of course wear the pelts of animals, particularly wolves, and of course, bears. They wore these to channel the essence of the animal, and the god associated with the animal. In this case, it's Odin. This is quite a bit different than the colloquial idea of what Berserkers were, which tends to be an all-out aggressive, vicious warrior with a drug-induced bloodlust unlike any other. I mean, some potentially also were that, but Berserkers were more important for their spiritual role. This affinity for bears is similar to totem animals in Celtic and many other pre-Christian European religions. Basically, each animal embodies something that people can channel. Bears to them were also warriors, but also seen as protectors and mothers. They channeled the spirits of the animals through things like charms made of bear hair and claws, and they would grant protection. For example, they would attend childbirth so that the spirits would help protect the mother. But of course, referring back to that colloquial idea, it is mentioned that Urshifu, when enraged, they will mercilessly attack an opponent until it is utterly crushed. Sounds pretty violent and Berserker-esque to me. Okay, so far we have a totem Odin bear, but what does Odin, god of knowledge, have in common with Eastern martial arts? Well, let's take a look at a place that is quite important to martial arts and Buddhism. The Shaolin Temple. Buddhism is a religion about finding enlightenment through its teachings. It's complicated, and this video isn't going much into it that much. But one way to find enlightenment is meditating for long periods of time. Because of this, the monks of the Shaolin Temple made Shaolin Kung Fu, firstly as a form of exercise to prepare themselves for long meditation sessions, but over time, it was transformed into a fully fledged form of Kung Fu. These days, Shaolin isn't really enlightenment searching anymore for most. It's more of a way for them to hone their bodies for martial arts. Though there are of course still monks who use it as an enlightening tool. Like people of all beliefs, monks are very diverse and have many different reasons to do what they do. So how does Odin relate to this? Well, he is a god of knowledge, and is often constantly on a journey to find knowledge and enlightenment. He often did this by disguising himself and walking into places to learn knowledge. He even at one point hung himself from a branch of the world tree and stabbed himself in the side with a spear. This way, he could sit there for 3 days and learn magic. What a nut. One way this is explained is you need an empty cup to fill it up. In order to learn all that he did, Odin needed to lower or lessen himself, which is similar to Buddhism. The path of enlightenment involves removing material values from your life in a way to find happiness. Now let's talk about martial arts. Many martial arts have their styles inspired by animals and their behavior. Kung Fu has many famous and well-known ones: dragon, snake, tiger, and crane. But there are also plenty of forms outside that, like the monkey stick style, or even bear style. Though notably, neither of Urshifu's styles are bear style. But it is other styles. Urshifu has single strike style and rapid strike style. And after digging into it a little bit, I think I can say that while I'm still no expert by any means, these two styles aren't based on any single actual martial art. These are not the exact main poses of any. Rather, they are taking pieces and concepts from various martial arts and combining them. Basically, Urshifu invented its own style. And this is fitting, as it's known as the Wushu Pokemon in the Pokédex, Wushu being Chinese for simply martial arts, rather than any particular style. The single strike style seems primarily based on the leopard style and other similar ones. Leopards don't rely on strength alone to take down prey. They use precision, precise strikes on top of outsmarting the opponent through ambush or speed. They use their strong bites to go for weak spots and take them down in a flash, a single, powerful blow to the neck. Seems similar to single strike style. Here's a quote: "Single strike style Urshifu prefers battling without holding back. It's similar to leopards doing everything they can to take down prey quickly and effectively. When it is a certain distance away from an opponent, it quickly leaps in to unleash a powerful blow." Fitting of leopards. It may also be worth bringing up tiger style, or black tiger fist. Many consider this to be the most external or direct of the martial arts, which means relying more on strength and overpowering the opponent, as well as moving more forward with direct motions rather than circular ones. You block more than you dodge or deflect. Hence Urshifu's arm being bent this way in this stance. Tiger style also involves a lot more leg work, perhaps like its legs here. Though, tiger style is more about quick and hard claw swipes rather than singular fisty strikes, which is why it's mixed with leopard here. But tiger style would for sure match that description quote we used for Berserkers. When enraged, they will mercilessly attack until the opponent is utterly crushed. That's sort of the whole concept behind tiger style. Forward attack. Raw, for the technical term. And so, single strike style is for sure combining the concepts from these and other similar martial arts. And it makes it quite fitting of the dark type. It's using any means to take down the opponent. Simple overpowering, along with underhanded stuff like attacking out of the shadows or ambushes, gut punches, throat chops, and nutcrackers. Striking the weak points. It's kind of rude. Or smart. Hence the dark type. Now, Urshifu using rapid strike style is also a mix of various martial art elements. This time we'll mainly look at crane and 7-star mantis style. And by the way, guess what else has 7 stars? The Dippers. The same constellations as the Ursas. The other reason why this Pokemon is named what it is. Nice. Crane is basically the opposite of tiger. Where tiger is direct, hard, and external, crane is circular, soft, and internal, focused on your own balance and defense. Movements are round, and defense is primarily done via dodging and deflecting. It's internal, because balance is a key part of the style. And now combine that with Mantis, which is a style focused on tactile, constant blows. This stance you see this Pokemon and people using is a style based on the praying mantis nymph. They will do a similar pose to make themselves look big, to scare away predators. Mantises are patient and fast, and calmer than most predators when it comes to capturing prey, and this is mentioned in the style's description. Urshifu in this form maintain a calm demeanor, observing their opponents and measuring their strength while dodging attacks. A rapid strike style Urshifu will use flowing movements in battle to smoothly parry an opponent's moves, and then overwhelm the opponent with a flurry of rapid strikes. The water typing then is not only a reference to the wetland-dwelling crane, and the smooth, flowing, circular movements that the style is known for, but also for the rapid strikes, hitting you like a torrent of water, like flowing down a rapid river. It's quite symbolic. And kinda dumb, IMO. I mean, look at this. Dumb. Now, before we dig into their two Gmax forms, we should look more at the animals they are based on, as well as some celestial ties. These two are primarily based on Asian black bears, also known as moon bears. Works well, as moon bears are the inspirations for bear style. Though, we can also look at their namesakes some more, the two Ursa constellations. Oh, and looky here. The Great Dipper constellation, the Ursas, also sometimes referred to as Odin's wagon. There he is again. Circular. Maybe it's not coincidence after all. Sort of a tangent, that's not the only constellation that Odin has a hand in. There is a legend about Odin stealing the mead from Suttung, the frost giant. In this tale, Suttung has the mead of poetry. Odin, the curious Allfather, really wanted some of this mead, you know, for knowledge purposes. So he disguised himself and went to find the mead. Guarding the mead was the frost giant's daughter. Odin seduced her, and they did some hanky-panky, and thus she let him go by, as she was now knocked up with the god of poetry. Odin dug his way into the mountain to drink the mead and unlock the poetry skill. He then also relieved himself and thus created poetry on Earth. Yeah, you heard it here. People who do poetry, they're all pissed. After this, the giant locked his daughter into the mountain where the mead used to be. Harsh. This giant was a shapeshifter, and often took an eagle form. In the sky, you can see the daughter locked in the mountain and her father, the eagle, nearby. And that's the tale. So, Calyrex is the Chinese interpretation of the moon rabbit, which is a moon rabbit alchemist crafting the elixir of life. And now there's these two. The stars, sun, moon, and constellations seem like a big theme for the new DLC, as well as a search for knowledge and enlightenment. Or immortality. What are you doing, Game Freak? Now, let's look more closely at the Gmax forms. Each style has their own Gmax form, which makes me upsetty spaghetti. Hey, Game Freak, where was the love for the apple in line? They are completely different Pokemon, but they have the same Gmax form? What the heck? These two are just... They learned different things with the same Pokemon, but they get two different Gmax. But no matter. These two are likely based on two Buddhist gods that I'm going to mispronounce. Agyo and Ungyo. These two represent the end and the beginning. They also are used as protectors and thus put on temples for that reason. In front of Buddhist temples, one is usually blue and the other red. Typically anyway, and sometimes they are both. But one thing that is noteworthy is one has their mouth open and a weapon in hand. This one is to expel and fight off evil spirits from the place. The other has no weapon and has a closed mouth. He is there to keep the good spirits in. And again, these are shaman-esque abilities, and the website does describe their Gmax forms as being capable of banishing evil spirits and even opening the soul and cleansing the spirits. Now that's just awesome. But bonus fact, it's Ursa Major and Ursa Minor, right? Well, Gmax Rapid Style is a whole 10 feet shorter than Single Strike Style. There's a Major and a Minor. Nice. So, these Pokemon, like many, are pulling from all over the world. And in this case, are even the same constellation, with the East and Western interpretations of them applying to the same Pokemon. And that is what I just freaking love about Pokemon. It's taking the Eastern abilities and attributes of the same constellation, and then taking the Western interpretations animal, and making them... It all comes together. It's so cool. It's so cool. So do you have anything to add? What mon should I cover next? Let me know down below, and until next time, you never stop using your noggin. I love these bears now.